Welcome back to my channel. This is Teresa. If it's the first time visiting, I hope you'll have a good time. And if you're coming back again, I appreciate you too. This is one of my most fun times of the month is when I am doing my currently inked. I do it in my Hobonichi journal. And then every month I move this little Avery index tab to wherever my new currently inked is. And then throughout the month, I can look back and I can see what inks I have in my pens, what I might feel like writing in my journals with that day. And then it's just really a fun thing to look back and go, that was January, there's February, and here comes March. So I'm going to go over each of the pens. I tried to use some samples. I did a video where I swatched my ink samples. So part of my push this month is I want to be using the things, and I switched out some of my pens. So some are permanent pairings. One is a permanent pairing, and then I have some new pens to show you that haven't been in my lineup. So let's get started. And as always, my Pilot Vanishing Point was one of the first pens I got, and I always have that inked with Diatramentus Document Black. So I have prepared my journal by having put some blotter paper behind. I don't think I'm going to have a big problem with bleed through, but you never know. So I'm going to just do a swatch. And this performs really well in my Pilot Vanishing Point. I've not had a problem with this. My Pilot Vanishing Point is a fine nib. So this is my Pilot Vanishing Point. It's matte black. And as always, it is inked with Diatramentus Document Black. These stickers, I believe the washi tape is from Every Minute a Story. And then these are my cat collage stickers. So that's the first one, is my Pilot Vanishing Point. The second one is one of my Jinhao 82s. I have this stock filled with Colorburst Coffee Break. And what I've been doing is this my little pen and ink wish list journal. I've been taking this when I go to the coffee shop and do a little video watching, or I go just to my computer or my iPad and I'm watching videos. I write down pens and inks that catch my eye, and then just kind of keep a running log. I don't have to have everything. One of the things I was watching was Heba Al-Sabai Creates. She had some pencil and journaling pouches. Anyway, I also found a clear cover that fits this Hobonichi Techo from Sterling Ink. So if something that you're interested in, it's nicely protected now. But this is a Jinhao 82. I don't feel bad throwing this in a bag. Don't have to feel like it's a precious, precious thing that I'm going to feel bad if I leave it on the table, which I haven't. So, all right. I say I'm not going to have a lot of pens inked, and then you know what? I got a lot of pens inked, but I enjoy them. I use them all throughout the month, so it's not a bad thing. And this is one of my favorite browns too, so if this stays in a pen a little bit longer than a month, this is a carryover from the month before. Doesn't bother me a bit. So I believe this is my fine nib. So this is Jinhao 82, and this is Milk Tea a fine nib. And this is Colorverse Coffee Break. This is kind of a smaller pen that I'm used to using, but really quite comfortable. And when I'm writing in a little journal, a couple of notes, it's not a problem. All right. Next up is kind of my pen love right now. I'm hoping it's going to have a friend join it sometime soon. But this is my Zodiac Pen Company 3 Olive Martini in the Cancer model, and I simply adore this pen. So it was not going to go into a drawer for the month. That, and I have it inked in this Ferris wheel press Peter Moss, which is just a great ink for March. I just have my little pots of water off to the side so I can get my swatching tool cleaned off. And then I'm really liking having the dots on top of the bottles if they don't have boxes. So I've done that as I swatched along. And then also having the currently inked, you can kind of look back and go, okay, this isn't a fine nib. Come here, Bob Blob, do your job. All right, so this is a Zodiac Pen Company. Gosh, this nib writes so nice. And it's a cancer model, I do believe. And it is 3 olives martini colorway, and it's inked with Ferris wheel press Peter Moss. Did I leave room? Sure I did. It's got a fine nib. So nice. Of course, I say that as I pat myself on the back and practically throw my arm out, right? All right, next up is, okay, picking a favorite pen is like picking puppies, if you want to be honest. This is another one of my newest pens that is in collaboration with Endless Pens and Leonardo and Julia here, and this is the Loveletter pen. I did a video on this, but just a quick recap is Julia here has parts of her wedding bouquet suspended in this resin that Papa J Studio did. And so there's all sorts of different colors in here, and it's just a beautiful resin, beautiful story, and I am very happy to have this in my collection. And I also was able to pair it with the Loveletter ink because that was part of the set. Really nice mauve, writes really well, very legible when I've been using it in my journal, so couldn't be happier with this purchase. And it's beautiful pen, my first white pen, and really pretty happy with it. So this is Leonardo Momento 0 Grande. Oh, let me make sure I'm not telling tales. I am telling tales. How about Momento Magico? And I have it in a medium nib. And it's inked with Robert Oster. I don't know why I'm holding that cap. Loveletter. Which is also the name of the pen. I will show you the back side of the cap. They're all numbered too, and I believe I have number 75 of 82. That's a nice touch. When I did my currently inked for February, I didn't have that pen yet. All right, well then one of my newer pens. Did I do a little, how nice that looks together? You can tell the little flecks of mauve in the resin. Okay. This is Pilot Kakuno, one of my cute little new additions. And then I'm also trying to use my samples. So I have this little cutie inked with another Robert Oster. This is Fire and Ice. This is just a fun little pen. I like my other Kakuno, and I thought, well, who doesn't like having a little panda nib smile at you? So this is a Pilot Kakuno. And this is Panda. And then it just said it's a black cap. And I got this in a fine nib. And I've inked it with Robert Oster. Fire and Ice. And does it have anything to do with the color of the pen? No, but it's just a fun ink and a cute pen. And I think the last one I'll fit on this page is going to be the Hello Kitty that I have a video on this one too. This is just an inexpensive pen. In all honesty, I bought it because of the tin that comes with it. So I have this inked with Wearingle I Am a Cat. It has some shimmer in it, and one of the reasons I don't mind getting some more inexpensive fountain pens is I can play with ink that I might not know how it's going to perform in a pen that is a little more precious. So it's kind of nice that you can play and not worry that, oh, that's got some nice shimmer, that it, look at it, run right into my sticker. And you know, if the sticker might not perform well with a finer nib or a gold nib, I don't have to worry about it. I don't even know what to call this pen, but we'll just call it a platinum Hello Kitty. Is it the best writer? No. If it doesn't last all month, that's okay. And it's inked with Wieringo. I am a cat. It's cute. Maybe it's going to go to a niece or a nephew someday. And then on to the other page. Sometimes I have to put a little drop of liquid adhesive behind those to keep those up and running. Everything's still on frame. So what I've got is I have rickshaw bags, the ones that lay flat, and it's just really nice. I have them on my desk. I see all the pens that are inked up for the month. Do I have a little extra room for a couple more pens? Perhaps I do. All right. This is one of the first precious pens I purchased. This is Leonardo Momento Zero, and the colorway is Pura Vida, which means pure life. And I got this on the 4th of July. Endless Pens was having a 4th of July sale, and I remember just hoping that they would have this pen. The nice person at Endless Pens had sent me a picture of a couple that they had available, and this is the one that came home with me. I remember, having ninja fingers when it was going to be the sale, and I got it. So I have this inked with this P.W. Ackerman 28 Hofquartier Grün. My apologies to anybody, including my husband, who is fluent in German, because there's probably a better way to pronounce that. Very pretty green. Thought it went really well with the resin on this pen. I also splurged on this Leonardo and got the 14 karat nib on it. So this is Leonardo. Momento Zero. With a extra fine nib. I also had Kurt Speer tune this when I saw him at the Detroit Pen Show in October. 14 karat. And this is Pura Vida. It's the colors of Costa Rica, perhaps, the rainforest, the ocean, and, oh boy, coral. I'll have to look. I'll put it on the screen. I just love this resin. And it's inked with P.W. Ackerman. Good thing I have a lot of room. Hofquartiergrün. So this is the Leonardo Momento Zero Pura Vida with the Ackerman Hofquartiergrün. Next up is another maker pen that I was so happy to be able to add to my collection. I encourage any of you who are looking at a maker pen and kind of look and go, oh my gosh, they love that pen. I don't see it on the website. Reach out, because I would not have this pen if I hadn't reached out to Patrick Ross and said I saw this pen and I would love to add this to my collection. Is there anything you can do? And he goes, as a matter of fact, I have one. I guess a sale had fallen through, and he was able to sell me a pen that he had. I have this inked with Amarillo Stationery's Toasty Joggers, which is one of my favorite caramel browns. My inky towel off to the side. I don't want to get it too muddled up. It's a lot lighter than that coffee break, so it's kind of nice to have a few different browns. For me anyway, brown is one of my favorite colors, and I think it's very legible when it goes down too, so I've not had a problem when I'm writing in my journals to say, oh geez, that Toasty Joggers looks just fine. So this is Relic pens. And I think it's just called Coffee, or it is now. I do believe I got it with a medium nib. Speaking of adorable nibs, this one has a coffee cup on it. I just love this resin. And I have it inked with Amarillo Stationery Toasty Joggers. And I think you can tell how nice and legible it is when it writes, and I just love it that it's the same tones as that caramel. I have a video on this pen too if you want to go take a deeper dive into that beautiful pen. All right, next up is another pen that is special to me, and I seem to have a type because I'm really loving my Leonardo pens. This is the Leonardo Serenity. It's the collaboration with Clarissa from the Snowy Studio. Leonardo and Papa J Studios did the resin, and it called to me. I loved the story. I loved that they were numbered, and I had messaged with Clarissa that it's going to be my birthday pen in November, and it was my 63rd birthday, and so when she picked out the pen for me, it's number 63, which is very special. I have this inked with Sven's Ink Solutions Skogsbrunn. So I was happy that I was able to get oh my goodness, a couple more greens in for March. And Sven's Ink Solution doesn't want to come open. Okay, one moment, please. Well, I really was glad I had arm day today. I had to use some strength to get the top off of this ink bottle. And it's probably good that it doesn't come off easy, right? Lots of nice shimmer in this one. And I think all three of the greens are different for the month, which is fun. This is a Leonardo. Momento 0 Grande 2.0 with a medium nib, which gets you the ink window. And I wanted the medium because I wanted to be able to look more inks more like this that have some shimmer in it. And this is Serenity, which is the Snowy Studio. one of the nicest people I've ever communicated with is Clarissa. So it is inked with Sven's Ink Solutions. Skogsbrunn. All right, you can always already see that that's drying down, but that's really nice in this pen, and it's been a nice combination writer. And then last, so far this month, because I do have something else coming, is another pen I got at the Detroit Pen Show, and I bought it from the Pen Realm. I had an appointment with Kirk Speer to do a tuning and to do a grind, and we had a little extra time at the end of my session because you sign up for, I think it's a half-hour session, and he had a nib that he did for the Detroit Pen Show, which he does often as a custom nib for the different shows. But the Detroit Pen Show nib has a record on it, and it says 2026 and then Detroit. And so I asked him if he had a maker pen that he would be able to put one of his nibs in. And this is a Russ pens, which I had not heard of, but I really liked the resin. It has some other colors in it, but I just really liked the look. I liked the weight and the feel of it. And he was able to put his Detroit Pen Show nib in it. And while I was at it, I was able to have him do a custom grind on it. So one of the fun things about going to a show and going to a Nibmeister is I was able to try all of his different custom grinds. He was able to take a peek and see how I was writing, able to actually lead me away from a couple of different grinds. And he said the 60% architect he thought would be real nice for me with the writing style, because I really liked the cursive smooth italics. So he did this one with a 60% architect. And so I was happy to break it out again this month to do some writing with it. And then this is one of the inks that really surprised me when I was swatching all of my samples again. I swatched them when I got them, but I'm trying to have a little more order to what I'm doing. And I was putting all my samples together. And this one was just one that kind of snuck up to me and said, "Ooh, this is really nice." So in it went to my Russ pens. This is Russ pens. And you can kind of tell the variation. I have no idea what model it is or anything, but it's a medium nib that was then ground down to a 60% architect. And I have tono and limbs diagonal in it. So when I do the cross strokes or like that, maybe if I do it that way, you can just really tell that it makes your cursive look nice. So I am going to let these dry down. Does this kind of match this little bit of turquoise in there? Sure, we'll go with that. So I'm going to let these dry down a little bit, and then I will put each of the pens with the inks. And just looking at the palette, I am very pleased with what I've got going on here. Do I have room for maybe another pen? Sure I do. And there's always another page. So I'll be back in a moment when these are all dry. Okay, just a little addendum while my inks are drying. This Pura Vida was a Costa Rican phrase meaning pure life, and that pen embodies the concept of cherishing life's simple pleasures. The pen features bands of green, red, and blue reminiscent of Costa Rica's rainforests, seas, and volcanoes. So I have a reason. I do these new pen day stories, and nice to go back and revisit why I got this and that I still love it every bit as much as when I got this in July. All right, well, it's pretty dry, so I wanted to just do a little recap of what I have currently inked for the month of March. This is my Pilot Vanishing Point that I have inked with the Diatomentus Document Black, as always. My Jinhao 82 in Milk Tea that I have with the Colorverse Coffee Break. My Zodiac Pen Co Cancer model 3 Olive Martini that I have inked with Ferris Wheel Press Peter Moss. Leonardo Loveletter, Julia here, inked with the Loveletter. And I don't know what's the best way to do this, but I don't think it's what I've done. So we'll figure it out. Okay, that's as good as anything. And then my Pilot Kakuno Panda Bear with the Fire and Ice Robert Oster. And then my Hello Kitty Platinum that was purchased because it came with a cool tin. Then on the other side is going to be my Leonardo Momento Zero Pura Vida, inked with P.W. Ackerman Groen. My Relic pens that is inked with the Amarillo Stationery Toasty Joggers. My Leonardo Serenity, inked with Sven's Ink Solutions Skogsbrunn. And then last but not least is my Russ pens with the Kirk Speer nib on it. And actually, that's not a too bad a way to display these. I guess I want to know what is your favorite ink pairing for the month? Do you have any of these pens? And I am looking forward to doing journaling with these the rest of the month. I don't know if I can pick a favorite ink pairing, but I'm happy to be having my Russ pens out again, my Pura Vida out to play with, and another surprise that's coming later in the month. So have some inky fun yourselves, and I'm going to figure out how to take a picture of this and get this video out so you guys can all enjoy my currently inked for March. One thing I wanted to do that I had forgotten to do at the end of the video was show you how the ink performed on the other side of the page. Pretty good with all of these inks. A little tiny bit of bleed through on that Colorverse, and then for the other side, little tiny bit of bleed through. Almost nothing though to speak of, for nothing for the writing. So on the normal everyday journaling, it's going to be just fine.